Okay, so by the time you come to this example, I suppose you already have an idea about the elimination process. So in the elimination process, we try to eliminate same algebra. So either it's the same x or the same y by adding or subtracting equation. So we will need same algebra to eliminate. But sometimes after you label the equation like this question, you will realize that you are not getting. So for example, if you look at x, I don't have same algebra, 3x and 2x. Okay, or if I look at y, I also don't have same algebra because it's y and 3y. So you need to make some same algebra. So first of all, very simple. You can decide who you want to eliminate first. So in this case, if there's no same algebra, you yourself decide. So I'm going to show you two situations. So first scenario, I decide to eliminate y. That means, right, I must have same algebra for y. I must have same algebra for y. What does that mean? So I have a 3y here. I try to make this 3y. So I want to make this 3y. Basically, I need this whole equation to times 3. So I need the whole equation to times 3. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I need the whole equation to multiply by 3. So this one multiplied by 3 gave me a 9x. This one multiplied by 3 gave me a 3y. And the number multiplied by 3 gave me a 24. So right now, I got 3y as the same algebra. So you put the other equation here. So right now, the other equation, you can put it side by side, so it's easier to see. So I put the equation side by side because I would like to be able to see the same algebra. So your same algebra is same sign. It's positive, both are positive. So 3y and 3y. How can I make it a 0y? So I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract these two equations. I'm going to subtract the two equations. So I'm choosing 3 minus 2, sorry. I'm choosing 3 minus 2. You can choose a 2 minus 3. Okay, so what do we mean by when we are subtracting the equation? So the algebra side, subtracting the other algebra side. So if you are doing this, right, remember I mentioned, if you are doing the subtraction in your elimination, you need to remember the bracket. So you got a -1 to multiply inside. So the algebra side minus the algebra side, which is the left side. The number side, subtract the number side. So I'm doing the other subtraction on the other side. So if you have the bracket and you open up correctly, you will find your 3y disappearing and you are left with 7x. And you can solve for your x. So again, if let's say you already solved for your x, then what happened? You can put your x back into any one of them. Back into any one of them. I choose to put it in number 2. I choose to put the x in number 2, meaning the x in number 2 will change to a value 1. Then I will do my linear equation to solve for y. Okay, so here I decide to eliminate y, so I make the same algebra for y. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. So maybe some of you may be thinking, what if I would like to eliminate x? So in the next situation, I will show you. If I want to eliminate x, I need same algebra for x. So I need same algebra for x. So 3x and 2x. The common one is to make into 6x. 2 and 3 is 6. So the common one is to make it into a 6x. That means I want to eliminate 6x. So how am I supposed to do this? I'm going to times 2, times 2, times 2. So the whole equation here will be multiplied by 2. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. The whole equation multiplied by 2. That's how I get my 6x. That's how I get my 2y. That's how I get my 16. Well, when you say the whole equation multiplied by 2, meaning, right, everything on the left side multiplied by 2, everything on the right side also multiplied by 2. So the next one, I'm going to multiply by 3. Because if I multiply by 3, I will get 6x. So I'm going to multiply by 3. I'm going to multiply by 3. So essentially, it is the whole equation multiplied by 3. So I get the 6x, I get 9x, I get 51. So this is the situation where you already make the same algebra happen. So these are the two equations with the same algebra. So look at the same algebra. So 6x and 6x. How are you going to make it a 0x? You will do a subtraction. So you will do a equation 3, subtract equation 4. Or you can do a equation 4, subtract equation 3, doesn't matter. But when you subtract, it's still the algebra side. Subtracting the algebra side. And again, if you are subtracting, please remember the bracket. Then the number side, subtract the number side. Because if you got the bracket, that means you have a -1 to multiply in. Otherwise, you will have a sign error. Your 6x will disappear. And then you are left with -7y. And then you can solve for your y. Okay, so again, if you already solve for one equation, you already solve for one unknown, you can return back to any of whatever, you can return back to any of the equation to solve for the other unknown. So it's your choice. So usually I look for the simpler equation. So I decide to put y equal to 5 into equation 1. Because to me, the first equation looked quite easy. So can you see the first equation look quite easy, right? So I put y equal to 5, meaning, right, this part will change to 5. So my equation will become quite easy, linear equation, and then I'll solve for x. So that is the idea of elimination. If let's say you don't have same algebra, so if you do not have same algebra to start with, you make your own same algebra. But you got to decide first and don't lose focus. Some students, they will decide already, then they forgot that they are actually eliminating that algebra, then they got lost along the way. And please label your equation so that we know what's going on. It's easier to give you method marks. Okay, the next one is a situation where the original equation has fraction. So sometimes when the original equation has fraction, a lot of students find it difficult. So what we're going to do is, right, we'll try to get rid of the denominator first. So if your starting equation, right, has fraction, you'll find it's very difficult to proceed. So we get rid of the denominator. So how are we going to get rid of the denominator? So for example, if you look at your, okay, so you label your equation. So after you label your equation, you observe the first one. The first one, can you see a denominator 2 and a denominator 3? So 2 times 3 equal to 6. That will be the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply I'm going to multiply this thing by 6. I'm going to multiply this thing by 6. I'm going to multiply this thing by 6. So essentially, I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 6. So 6 times x over 2, cancel. That's how I got 3x. 6 times y over 3, cancel. That's how I got the 2y. And 3 times 6 give you 18. So from here, there are no more fraction already. From here, there are no more fraction. So you will be focusing on this equation. So equation 1 is already gone. You already changed it to this one. So you already changed, so don't look back already. So in the next one, you look at the denominator again. It's a 4 and 5. So 4 and 5 make a 20. So you are going to multiply 20 for every one of them. So everything multiplied by 20, multiplied by 20, multiplied by 20. So let's take a look. X over 4 multiplied by 20. Cancel, cancel. You got a 5x. Then y over 5 multiplied by a 20. Cancel, cancel. You got a 4. That's how you got a minus 4y. And then minus 4 times 20 give you a minus 80. So once you get rid of it, again, this one, right, the original equation is not needed already because it already become this equation. So you just need to look at these two equations and decide. So how are you going to do by elimination? So maybe you need to decide. Is there same algebra? So if you look at x, if you look at the x, right, they are not same algebra. If you look at y, they are also not same algebra. So in this situation, it will be very similar to example 3. You got to decide your what you want to eliminate. So if you want to eliminate x, if you decide to eliminate x, you got to make it same algebra. So 3x and 5x, the common algebra will be 15x. So if let's say you decide to eliminate y, 2y and 4y, you just need to make it 4y. So you need to eliminate 4y. Okay, so if you start off with fraction, once you get rid of it, don't look at the original one already. You just look at the equation with no fraction. Then you decide which is the same algebra to eliminate. And then you do accordingly, like example 3. So you can take a look at my working. Either way, you should still be getting the same x and the same y. So it shouldn't be like you are getting different. If you are getting different values, if you eliminate x and you eliminate y, you are getting different answers. That means something is very wrong. Okay, so the idea about elimination is you look for same algebra to eliminate. If there's no same algebra, you make the same algebra happen first. Then the elimination is done through adding the equation or subtracting the equation. Meaning when you are adding the equation, you add the left side or you add the algebra side. Then the number side you also add. If you are subtracting the algebra side and subtracting the number side. But you do need to remember, if you are subtracting, you must remember to put a bracket for the subtraction. Okay, so this is the idea for elimination.